This Fresno Police body cam video shows police pulling over and demanding that Freddy Centeno hit the ground, but then immediately open fire. The 40-year-old mentally disabled man is hit 7 times and dies in the hospital 23 days later.
This is a bad shooting. It's an atrocity. They tell him, get on the ground. He doesn't have a chance to get on the ground. You could count the time from the time they stopped the car, just on real time, 1 second before they began to fire.
But to Fresno Police Chief Jerry Dyer, the video shows the officers were more than justified. He says the video shows Centeno reached for a black spray nozzle in his pocket, which looks just like a gun.
There it comes right there, which clearly appears to be a handgun.
The man's family suing Fresno Police Department over this death. The man was unarmed, mentally ill.
Yes, it is justified if we're just looking at it from this perspective. They come out of the car, and this is quick, and that's one of the issues with these police shootings. They only last a couple of seconds, which is the problem. They come out of the car, they identify themselves, immediately his hand goes to his waistband. He pulls something out, it looks from a distance like it could be a gun. He goes to point it very slightly, and they immediately shoot him. Because of that, it is justified. Yes. Now, can the family sue? Absolutely, and that happens all the time. And they can, and you know what, in some regard, I think they should. Could have they handled it maybe a little bit differently, maybe waited a second or two, possibly. But this is the thing. You can say they should have waited, but what if it was a gun? And I'm saying this to you, Anahita and Karamo. What if it was a gun? And what if you walked out of that car? It only takes a second to shoot that weapon, and you don't have to lift it and point it up. I mean, you can shoot it from the hip.
Maybe the first shot would be justified. But under the post-training, police officers are required by law to justify every single shot that they fire. And they cannot commando style, like if we're at war, open fire on a person, even if the person does have a gun. In California, the training tells you that even if someone does have a gun in their hand, you have to give them adequate notice that you're going to fire. You just can't begin firing immediately. Even if, let's say hypothetically, he did have a gun. They had to do something other than immediately fire in the manner that they did repeatedly.
Even if the officers thought that he had a gun, even though that was on the dispatch, does that still give them a right to shoot 7 times? How about shooting the leg, shooting in a less intrusive way? They shot to kill. It was overkill, in my opinion.
Well, each of the officers fired 5 times, and you can see that it happened simultaneously. The officers fired in rapid succession. And when you come upon an incident like that, and you believe somebody has a firearm, you don't know their mental state in terms of what their intent is. The first thing you're thinking of is, how can I immediately stop this threat?